Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you joining us today. I am Malika, Associate Manager Social Media at India IT 360, and it's a pleasure to host this Techie Connect session titled Next Gen Cyber Leaders Upskilling for Growth in a Rapidly Evolving Threat Landscape. Cybersecurity today is no longer just about tools and technologies, it's about mindset, adaptability, and leadership. As threat landscape evolve, organizations need professionals who can think ahead, respond faster, and lead with confidence. That's exactly what today's conversation is about. How to position yourself as a next generation cyber leader in a rapidly changing digital environment. Before we move ahead, for those who are new to our community, here's a quick introduction. India IT 360 is a 360-degree B2B digital platform that connects all the stakeholders of the ICT industry, starting from OEMs, startups, distributors or sub-distributors, retailers, SI partners, corporate CIOs and CISOs, MNCs, and SMEs for their ease of business and business growth. Techie Connect is a platform initiated by India IT 360, which is designed to bring tech students, professionals, and industry leaders like CISOs and IT CXOs onto one common platform. Through webinars, expert sessions, and discussions, Techie Connect enables meaningful learning, collaboration, and career growth within the tech ecosystem. Now that you have a quick understanding of who we are, let me share what's in it for you. At Techie Connect, we believe in learning together and also growing together. That's why we've introduced our Refer and Earn program exclusively for our techie community. Here's how it works. You unlock an exclusive referral code, refer and register 10 tech friends and colleagues, and earn up to 10,000 rupees. This offer is valid only for the first 100 registrations, and over 1,300 techies are already earning through this program. Now, while referrals are rewarding, what truly sets Techie Connect apart is the learning and career opportunities we create through our webinar series. So today's session is a part of the Techie Connect webinar series, curated especially for tech students and professionals who are serious about building strong, future-ready careers in the field of technology. When you register for the full webinar series, you don't just attend sessions, you unlock opportunities such as a chance to intern or even work with India IT 360 and Unistil systems, a certificate of appreciation, a letter of recommendation from our co-founder, and an opportunity to get spotlighted within our growing community of IT CXOs and senior tech experts from leading Indian companies. All right. So with that in mind, let's now shift our focus to today's session. To guide us through this insightful conversation today, we're privileged to have with us Mr. Sandesh Raut, Chief Information Security Officer at L&T Limited. With a career spanning leading conglomerates such as Tata and now L&T, Mr. Sandesh Raut brings over 6 years of leadership experience in the cybersecurity domain. A seasoned cybersecurity leader, he carries extensive hands-on expertise across endpoint, data, server, and cloud security, along with strong experience in endpoint detection and response. He has led large-scale security initiatives in complex enterprise environments, playing a key role in enhancing organizational cyber resilience. It's an honor to have you with us today, sir, and I'm sure our audience is eager to learn from your experience. Let's dive straight into today's session. The floor is all yours, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, Malika. Thanks, India IT 360. I think this is a very good initiative that you guys are doing some virtual sessions. For early professionals, it will be a real boon. And I am also sure that it's not only for the early professionals. I think even the people who are at an entry level, who are at a senior level, to move and upscale themselves to the leadership level. And it's not only upscaling yourself for the leadership, but it is once you move into this leadership, then you should also realize how you have to sustain the leadership role, right? Because as it says, you need to upskill yourself in this rapidly evolving threat landscape. So to begin with, obviously, we will go with the flow of our session, and we'll start with how we have to build our future ready cyber skills. Correct. So we should realize that now cybersecurity, when we look at cybersecurity, we don't only feel that it's a technical domain now, right? It's now a business capability. It's now a national priority and a personal responsibility for each and every individual who is actually a part of the nation. So we need to realize what will the cyber professionals in future should be like, rather than just being technical. So what you should be good at? You should be adaptable, you should be multidisciplined, and you should also be business aware a bit, because you need to talk about business, you need to understand business, and then create a mindset how cybersecurity can help to defend against the attacks which a business faces. Correct. So to line this up, I would start with how we need a mindset shift. So if we see that if we want to move into a domain like cybersecurity, what is the most important thing that you should be looking at? And it is curiosity. If you are curious enough to know what is going on in the exponential world we see, then only it is like you will have that mindset shift. What we were doing in the past was we were following procedures, we were responding to alerts when events used to come, and then we used to act on those incidents. But when you look at future ready roles, you've got to think that what is there to come. It is you have to realize that you just have to continuously learn, you have to assume challenges, you have to start thinking like attackers, right? And you have to start anticipating what might happen. You just cannot just sit back and react to what happened. I think then you will be too late to realize that, oh, something has really happened and I was too behind, far too behind to anticipate it. Correct. So what can leaders do? Leaders can teach people how to utilize tools and everything. You cannot teach how you have to be curious. So that curiosity is one of the things that you have to cultivate in yourself. So the best cyber defenders of the future will be the ones who start questioning everything. It is you should have a question in your mind about everything that is going on, right? And then what are the next 5 to 10 years taking us ahead? What are the technical skills that you need to build so that you actually help yourself to upscale in this cyber evolving world? So obviously, we need to first start focusing on a very important aspect, which is cloud security and DevSecOps. Right? Every organization, if we see nowadays, is hybrid. What do you mean by hybrid? Is either it has an on-premise architecture and it is also has a cloud architecture, or it is a multi-cloud environment where two three different cloud platforms are being utilized for running their applications, for hosting their applications, right? So it means that you should have good skills in cloud security, in DevSecOps, because now these are not just nice to have skills, these are foundational skills that really set the tone. And then if we think of another skill sets, it is identity security. So you must now realize that identity is becoming the core skill of modern cyber. Then we talk about many strategies, zero trust strategy, conditional access strategy, right? And we also talk about privileged accesses which people have within an environment. So identity security is something which also has to be looked at. There is threat detection and response, because we are now moving to an AI world. What are attackers doing? Right? Attackers are trying to generate malwares, they're trying to find vulnerabilities, they're trying to mimic voices. You must have heard about deep fake attacks also now. They are trying to launch hyper targeted phishing attacks, right? So what we should learn and how we should be ready about it. So we should start utilizing behavioral analytics. We should start thinking about AI assisted threat hunting, so that we are well aware of what kind of threats are being detected in our environment. We should try to start working on forensics with automated tools, right? And understand the adversarials which are coming out in terms of the AI attacks. So when I talk about utilizing AI in the threat detection and response world. So mostly we have SOC analysts who basically SOC is Security Operations Center, which does a 24 by 7 monitoring of our environment to detect the threats which are coming to an organization, right? So SOC analysts of the future, they will be augmented analysts, moreover, wherever where we can say that the humans will be amplified by intelligence, but they will not just be looking at alerts. And the last thing, as a part of upgrading the next yourself in the next 5 to 10 years, is about securing the software and supply chain security. So now we see that multiple organizations have their own applications. They are working with a lot of third party organizations, and they are working on a lot of tools which are OEM ready. So that is why securing the software that you are utilizing is something which is becoming a very important line of defense. And obviously, supply chain security is basically understanding the threat landscape when you are working with a third party or an OEM tool or software which is being utilized for the organization's business. Right. Next up, we will should also understand that human skills are really going to matter. Why? Because now future ready skills will be all about not explaining the technical aspects, right? It's not only about being technical, as I said, it is about being business aware. So, a cyber professional who can't explain risk to a non-technical executive, because you'll have a lot of non-technical executives as a part of your business. You'll have the CEO, you'll have the chief product officer, you'll have the chief operations officer, and lot more, right? These people are very non-technical in nature. So if you want that you become a very successful cyber professional, you'll have to start explaining such non-technical people in layman language what is security. So one of the future ready skills which I value the most is the ability to translate complexity into clarity. That is what we've got to do. We've got to have future ready skills such as risk storytelling. We should be aware of crisis leadership. There will be a lot of pressure situations, so decision making is very important during pressure situations. And we'll have to do a lot of cross functional collaboration. Now when I say cross functional collaboration, what does it mean? It means that there are multiple departments in any organization, and those departments have to do a cross functional collaboration to realize that they are working together in case of the cyber attacks which they are facing, right? Example I can say is there can be a legal team. So whenever there is a cyber attack, then the kind of legal aspects which come into picture, because you face a lot of regulatory compliances. So you'll have to have a collaboration with the legal team. Then there's a marketing team. The marketing team has to roll out that the particular customers that have been attacked, correct? And it also has to roll out stories behind what is going on in terms of the attack. How are we responding back to the attack? So these are just two examples of two departments. So if we say that if we have to work, we have to, in an organization from a cyber perspective, it should be a cross functional collaboration. And then there's the need for continuous hands-on learning. So what we should see today, we've been hearing a lot of cyber points in the industry. What are these? There is zero trust. Then we talked about blockchain. Then we talked about quantum computing. Now AI and Gen AI is booming. People are talking about quantum cryptography. People are talking about continuous threat exposure management. So what we've been seeing as a part of the industry is that any cyber knowledge that we are gaining today, it becomes almost obsolete in 1 year, because the trend of cyber attacks is evolving at a very rapid pace, correct? So if we look at the future, it is not the degrees or the certifications which will really only matter, correct? Because that is only a syllabus based skill set that we are trying to achieve. What we have to look at is continuous experiential learning. The reason is because what will future ready organizations invest in? They will invest in bug bounty participations, where they want people to get them the risks that are there in their applications. They will look at internal threat drills, They will look at cyber ranges. They will look at red teams exercises to happen in their environment. Correct. So a classroom, it says that it classroom can teach just a theory, because if you go for a degree or a certification, it's just a theoretical thing which you will be focusing on. But the real readiness will come from experience and from failing in a safe environment, right? So this is there that the continuous need of hands-on learning is something which will be required. Next up is having a multidisciplinary cyber workforce. So gone are those days where we feel that only the engineers can be cybersecurity experts, right? Now we can also look at people like psychologists, data scientists, legal specialists, AI engineers, who can bring in a lot of skill sets to make sure that we are a cyber workforce. So cyber is no longer a siloed kind of a technical discipline. It's actually an interdisciplinary ecosystem now. So because why? Because people say that hackers only exploit technology, but it is not the case. When we see the recent cyber attacks which are going on, we see that the hackers are exploiting technology, people, and process. All of these three. So, as defenders, as cyber security workforce, we should understand all three of it, and we should have a future plan ready for all three of it. And hence, it's not only that the engineers can be a part of the cybersecurity workforce, but there are other people also who can join in as the cybersecurity team, correct? And then we also look at the cyber culture that we'll have to build. So we need to build a cyber aware organization. Why? Because your employees in the organization, they are the frontline workers. When we look at those frontline workers, we say that these are the people who are actually working on the processes of the business. So there are threats like deepfake frauds happening today. There are social engineering attacks. There are phishing attacks. When people look at two-factor authentication. So basically, what do we get? We get OTP, right? If we have a security measure in place. But now there are multiple OTPs being flooded to everyone by the attackers, which is known as a MFA fatigue kind of an attack, where someone falls bait to it and one of the code gets shared, and then your identity is compromised, correct? There are QR code phishing attacks which are happening. Some falsified QR codes which are being pasted on shops, in shops in different places, and when you are doing a QR code scanning, you are basically falling prey to a phishing attack, correct? And then there are AI generated impersonation. We are looking at digital arrest today. We are looking at people who are getting targeted by impersonation of identities, correct? So these are not anything which is related to technical, right? This is all exploiting our human behavior. So what skills do we need to build? We need to start understanding how we need to verify identities, how we need to challenge suspicious requests which are coming to us, how we can respond to MFA, that is multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication prompts, how can we escalate the incidents which we are getting, correct? And when there is a downtime, now what does a downtime mean? It means your process or your system has gone for a toss. So in that scenario, how we have to operate during that downtime. So with this, what we realize is that the employee is not the weakest link, what I can say, but they are the first detection sensors for you if they are being trained well. So that is why we should have and we should try to build a cyber culture in our organization. And for that, as cyber professionals, we should be ready and aware how cyber security awareness has to be driven. Correct? Next up, obviously, is having an AI driven threat landscape. So, what we can see is that to win in an AI driven threat landscape, we need to have AI for anomaly detection. What is an anomaly? Anomaly is basically the flaws, the risks which are coming to your organization. So we should start using AI for that. There are some cyber frauds which are going on. We should start using AI based analysis for detecting the cyber frauds. Right? There are some identities which are being built to impersonate you. You should have a knowledge of knowledge of identifying those identities, synthetic identities which are being created. So if we say that the future of cybersecurity is ultimately what? It will not be AI versus humans. It will be basically AI versus AI. Now, why I say AI versus AI is because the cyber attackers are also utilizing AI, whereas the cyber people like us who are defending are also utilizing AI. But what will be the difference? The difference will be who handles or controls AI in a much better manner to make smarter decisions, right? And then the biggest one is the leadership role. So if we have a leadership kind of a mindset, what we should look at that the people in our organization have learning as a part of their performance goals. They should invest in labs, in simulations to help realize how attacks happen. You should start encouraging innovation within people. So skill development is very much required. It is not a luxury now, but it's a survival strategy. So building leadership skills and leadership a role in an organization is very important. And then last is, as I said, it is about adaptability. It is not about perfection. So what we've got to realize today is that tools will keep on changing, threats will keep on evolving, attackers will keep on adapting themselves the moment you start defending on one or the two patterns, right? So technology is accelerating like nothing, but which organizations will win? Those organizations who have cyber professionals like us, or the ones who are aspiring to become a cyber professionals, who are adaptable, who are curious enough, and who are doing continuous learning. Correct? So cybersecurity's future will not be won by the newest tools or the biggest budgets, but it will be won by organizations who will invest in cyber aware people, who will not invest just in technology. So future ready cyber skills, they are not technical competencies, but they are a culture, a mindset, a continuous journey that we are looking at. Next up, we also focus on AI and automation in security, right? So when we talk about AI and automation in security, so what we are really talking about is a fundamental shift now that is operating in how that is happening in how cybersecurity is operating. So in many ways, the story of cybersecurity, it evolves from humans supported by tools to tools amplified by the humans, and AI is the catalyst behind that transformation. So let me tell you how it is actually working. So why AI has become essential in cybersecurity today. So we are dealing with millions of alerts today, right? There are so many attacks, so many people across the globe who are continuously identifying new patterns of attacks, new kind of threats, right? There are new vulnerabilities which are coming up in your operating system, which you utilize in the applications which you utilize. People are using AI for using fish for doing phishing attacks, and there are a lot of exploding digital footprints today. So no human team, I would say no human team will be skilled enough to manually upkeep with this pace in which the cyber is evolving. So how will AI help in this scenario? So basically AI will bring the ability for you to detect those subtle patterns, to process enormous data sets because there are a lot of alerts coming to you. They will identify those anomalies in real time, and they will respond faster than humans can click even a mouse, right? Even one click that you're doing, it is the AI is more faster than that. So what we've got to realize here is that AI is not replacing people. If we've seen these superpowers, these superheroes, right? They have some superpower skills. There is Superman, there is Batman, which we see, right? So similarly, AI is like a superpower, which now the cyber professionals will be having. So what are the three major shifts that AI is driving in cybersecurity? The first one is it is being reactive then to so we are most over being into a reactive phase right now, where what we see is, oh, an attack has happened, now what we should do about it. Now with AI coming into picture, we are moving into more of a predictive security. So traditional security will wait for something to go wrong. But when there is an AI driven security, you will predict what vulnerabilities are there well in advance. You will spot the insider risks before they are turning into a attack, and you will also forecast the risky configurations which are there in your environment. So moreover, this shift that is from reactive to being predictive is a shift that is what has happened. We are moving likely to what is likely to happen, right? So this is the first kind of a major shift which is happening. The second is from alert fatigue to being intelligent prioritization. So what we see is majorly the SOC team. Any professional who joins a SOC team who does a 24 by 7 monitoring, he will keep on getting alerts and he'll be get drowned into the alerts all the time. And the attackers know it that if they keep on sending multiple threads together, the SOC team will not be good enough to go through and run through all of those threads. And then one of the thread will help them to get into your ecosystem. So how does AI help over here? So it correlates the signals, it identifies the false positives, it really helps you highlight the true incidents in real time, and it recommends you about the next actions, right? So what will be the result? The result is you will have fewer alerts, you will have higher accuracy, and you will respond faster. The third major shift that I am seeing is being manual to moving to autonomous. Now, why I say autonomous is because there are a lot of compromised endpoints which may happen in your environment due to the constant attacks. So, how you take care of this? You auto isolate these compromised endpoints, right? You rotate your credentials, your passwords if suspicious activity is being detected. You will block the blacklisted IPs which are trying to hit your environment. You will enforce policy changes, immediate policy changes. So how all of this will happen? This will all happen in an automated manner. So that's why automation also is a real important aspects. So what automation is doing is it is not replacing the analysts who are working as cybersecurity professionals, but we are giving them another superpower, which is automation co-pilots to do the heavy lifting in a day-to-day operations, right? Next is we also need to look at the offensive, the new offensive reality that AI is also helping the attackers. They are scripting social engineering conversations, they are bypassing detection tools. So there are so many detection tools which we actually deploy. There is an antivirus, there is a firewall on our network, there is a proxy solution, but they're trying to bypass these detection tools so that they can get into your environment. So AI isn't just something which is nice to have, but there is the another side of the story that it is the only way to defend at the speed and scale at which the attackers are now operating, right? And where does AI make a big impact today? So what AI helps is it helps us in detection and threat hunting. So all kinds of impossible travel activities, all kind of rare processes, executions of rare processes which are happening, all kind of lateral movement attempts which happens. So AI is helping us to identify threats before they become breaches. Next is identity security and zero trust. So moreover, as I said, identity is the main vector today. When we look at people being attacked, they are basically looked to attack. They are trying to the attackers are trying to attack your identity, right? They're trying to get the logins that you are utilizing. If you are a privileged user, if you are an administrator, you are the priority line of attack for the attackers. Basically, because if they get hold of your identity, if they compromise your identity, then it will be very easier for them to get into your environment, right? So all of this always and always helps us realize that AI and automation will transform cybersecurity in five major ways. One is the speed. The response times will drop from hours to milliseconds. Second is it will help us to scale. It will help us to scale defenses and cover millions of devices automatically. It will increase our accuracy. False positives will be reduced, real threat surfaces will be identified. It will be moreover cost efficient because automation will handle the repetitive tasks for us, and we will not have to invest time and money to do repetitive tasks. Resilience. Last is resilience. Systems will learn, adapt, and self heal themselves. So, this is the beginning of machine speed defense. So, humans plus AI, that is what will be the new cyber defense model. So, just one thing that I would like to mention to all of you cyber professionals would be that AI, there is a myth which is going on, and that is AI will replace the cyber teams or basically the cyber professionals, but that is not the case. Cyber teams who will use AI will replace those who don't use AI, because AI is like a force multiplier for us. It is like a superpower to us. And automation is something which will help us to improve our efficiency. So the future of cybersecurity is not basically a man or a machine, it's man with the machine, right? So human creativity along with the AI scaling, that is the combination what will define the next decade of cyber defense. Next, we'll look at what different career pathways are there which we should look at in terms of cybersecurity upscaling. So what people think of cybersecurity careers today, I don't know, because basically, when I look at freshers, they may think that there is some hacker kind of a scenario. We see a lot of images when we try to search for what all different career pathways are there, right? We see a person with a jacket, with a hoodie, sitting in some corner, doing some attacks, doing some defending against those attacks. But this is not the reality. When you look at cybersecurity ecosystem, right, it's a huge ecosystem now. And when I working as a chief information security officer at a leadership level, I mostly take it as a my job to help people, to help them find the right path, how they are going to reach to those cyber security skill sets so that they can start working in a cyber space, right? So how does this career basically look at when you look at the career pathway? So it's not a single career, it's basically an entire universe as such. Why I say it's basically an entire universe, because previously also I said that it's not only that the engineers can be part of the cybersecurity workspace now. You can come from multiple domains. It can be IT, development, law, psychology, finance, compliance, even non-technical backgrounds like marketing or HR. Now, when I say how non-technical backgrounds like marketing or HR, so we talked about the human aspect, right? Humans or the employees are the weakest link which need to be trained first, and if they are well aware, then they become the first line of defense for us. So basically, when we look at people from marketing and HR, they can come up and give security awareness sessions. They can be a part of the compliance aspects, right, and still build a meaningful cyber career, because it is not one job, it's many jobs. So moreover, when I talk about cybersecurity career path, I divide it into three big entry points. So whenever a fresher or an entry level professional comes to me, oh, how can I get into cybersecurity? So I always say that there are three major and big entry points that you have, right? One is through the good old method, the traditional method of a technical pathway. Now, what is a technical pathway? So this is basically the role which people enjoy to do with doing some hands-on activity, doing some hands-on activity into the networks, into the system, into cloud, coding, engineering, troubleshooting the problems which are happening, right? So this is all technical. What kind of roles can we see in this? So the roles that we can see in this are majorly that you can become a network security engineer, you can become a cloud security engineer, you can become a SOC analyst, right? Why technical? Because these roles require curiosity, they require problem solving skills, and they require the ability to think like an attacker. So this is one of the biggest entry points, which is by getting into the cyberspace through a technical pathway. What is the second aspect if you're not technical, right? Is governance, risk, and compliance, the GRC pathway. Now, this is very ideal for people who enjoy structures, who enjoy building processes, who like being aligned to business, right? So, why this is another path which is to be focused on is because we see a lot of regulatory frameworks, a lot of regulations now in the industry. We talk about ISO 27001, we talk about NIST, which is a US based framework. We talk about different acts coming out, like Digital Personal Data Protection Act of India, which is one of the major act which is going to come up now. Apart from this, there are also many controls that an organization has to build. For this, you need to have people who come in as a policy specialist who start building policies in your environment, correct, in your organization. You start having people who are joining in, becoming ISO 27001 leads, because you need to deploy all the controls as compliance to the ISO. So you have a lot of audits now coming up in all organizations. So governance, risk, and compliance. This is also one pathway through which you can enter the cybersecurity workspace. And third major pathway is the human and behavioral pathway, as I said. So basically, people with backgrounds from psychology, communications, or HR, they can excel here because human cyber includes what? It includes security awareness, behavioral analytics, social engineering defense, and also training and culture design. So this is one of the fastest growing areas. So why I said that other domains also, people in other domains also can excel over here is because there is human and behavioral pathway also through which you can come into the cyber space. So these were the major three pathways through which one can enter into the cybersecurity domain. Now, when I say that you can enter into a cybersecurity domain, then there will be multiple things that will come to your mind. Okay, so now I entered as an entry level. So, what is that career ladder that I should actually look at? What is that progression or that typical talent or opportunity that I should look at where I can move from an entry level to a mid level, and from a mid level to a senior level, and from a senior level to a leadership level, right? So, what are the skill sets that I should carry or I should learn when basically we are start working into the cyberspace? So, basically, when you enter the cyberspace, you will start working as an entry level professional, a professional who is having only a 0 to 2 years kind of an experience. So, what is focused in these kind of roles? What should be the focus? The focus should be building your foundation. So why I said building a foundation is because you should only focus on learning when you are at an entry level. What skills can you learn? You can learn incident basics. You can know how logging and monitoring happens, how asset management happens, because there are a lot of assets which we need to look at, and the assets are being attacked, right? We should look at how foundational frameworks work. What are the networking fundamentals? So entry level is a stage where there is learn everything and absorb everything. You should only and only focus about building your foundation. Once your foundation is built, then you can move to a mid-level kind of a scenario where people and professionals who are in a career of around 3 to 7 years of experience can work. These are people who start specializing them yourselves. So how I say specializing is because you take some area of expertise, like either there is SOC, which is Security Operations Center, that is a 24 by 7 environment, or either you take cloud as a specialization, you take identity as a specialization, you take governance, risk, and compliance as a specialization, right? Then in each domain of cybersecurity, you will start specializing your skills. What skills you will learn during this phase? You will start to learn how to build security controls. You will start to learn how to lead investigations after attacks happen. You'll start to learn how attackers are thinking, how I can start using automation and scripting. Correct. So this is where the cyber professionals will start shaping their career. And then I think once you move to a mid low role, then you start looking at a senior level role. that is becoming a manager, right? A security manager or a SOC manager or a lead, right? That is where your focus should be between the career that you have from 8 years to 15 years of experience. So, what skills should you start learning to upscale yourself? You should start learning skills on leadership, on strategy, how you communicate with the high level executives of the organization, how do you budget, correct? Because budgeting is also a very important aspect of cybersecurity. You just cannot keep on buying every single tool to protect yourself. You should have a strategy. Any organization cannot just give you 100% budget, because they also have to look at the business, right? So you should be business aware, and hence budgeting is very important. You should start learning skills how a roadmap works. So suppose you start security or implementation right from scratch in an organization. So how do I build security? What do I do in the first year? What do I do after 3 years? What do I do after 5 years? So there is a maturity scale, right, where you start from an initial level and you move to an optimized level. So these are the skills that you should start learning. So at this stage, what do people do? They shift themselves from doing the work to shaping the work, right? And then you should have your focus on the leadership, where you will be sitting, where you have a career of 12 to more than 12 years of experience, more than 20 years of experience, where you will start looking at roles which I am possessing or maybe other leaders are possessing, like a CISO role or a head of security operations or a head of cloud security, right? And then the responsibilities completely shift. It is about sustaining your role. It is about how you align with the business, how you report to the board, how you take budget and investment decisions, how do you work in crisis, right? What is your enterprise resilience strategy? So, what skills or what role balances do you need to understand? You need to understand business priorities in this role. You need to understand innovation. You need to understand how risk tolerance happens, right? And then you need to translate cyber risk into language the business understands. Because, as I said, the high level executives will be non technical executives. If you don't translate the cyber risks into the business language with them, they will not be able to understand, and then you will not be able to sustain into this role, right? So the most in demand cyber pathway for the next 5 to 10 years is basically moving from an entry level to a mid level to a senior level and to a leadership level. So you should start looking at building cloud security skills, identity security skills, threat detection, SOC and automation skills, GRC skills, human layer security, insider threat management skills, right? Because as I said, skills that matter more than certifications are really going to create a difference, because certifications are absolutely valuable. I am not saying that you should not get certified, but from my expertise, I would say that there are also other skill sets which you need to possess as an entry level cyber professional to move to that leadership role. One is obviously curiosity, next is adaptability, third is problem solving, analytical thinking skills. While fourth is communication, fifth is collaboration, sixth is ethical decision making, and then you should start building the strong foundations, right? So cybersecurity is not just a career. As I said, it is a journey of continuous growth, challenge, and impact. And right now, I think it's one of the best times in the industry, in the history now, to join this industry, to join this field, because the opportunities are vast. There are different, diverse pathways, and the need for skilled people has never been higher. Because if we see now, India has also started realizing the importance of cybersecurity. I just read an article a few days back where India has started investing, where India was merely investing a 37 crore rupees for cybersecurity. Now India has started investing 850 crore rupees for cybersecurity. I think the upscaling from the national level also helps us understand that the requirement of cybersecurity is increasing in a day-to-day operations, in a day-to-day manner. And I think it is very important for people to join this field now, because this is the best time to do it, right? And last, I would love to speak about creating a cyber aware mindset. So, as entry professionals, it is your responsibility that we should start creating a cyber aware mindset first to get into a cyber field, right? So, when you look at some of the largest breaches, now what I say is breaches, basically, breaches means attacks. So, when I say see and look at these largest breaches which are happening globally, what you'll realize that they start with a small vulnerability or a small sophisticated exploit, and they start with a human moment. What happens? You click something, it's a rush decision, and then you are attacked. So, if we really want to build a cyber resilient organization, first you should start creating a cyber aware mindset along with the technical skill sets and the other skill sets that you are building, right? Because you have to build cyber aware humans first because they are the weakest link. So you have to, when you start creating this, then what will happen? So if your employee in an organization, so as a professional, as a cybersecurity professional, you have now started running security awareness sessions in your organization, right? So what will happen after that? It will create a cyber aware mindset amongst the employees, which are the first line of defense for you, as I said. So they will start treating every email, every link, every request to them like a healthy skepticism. They will pause before acting. They will understand the value of the data they handle, right? They will start feeling responsible and not afraid when it comes to security. And importantly, it's basically you are trying to create cyber champion somewhere, right? Because you yourself are the cyber professional. But are you alone going to win the situation? No. It is you have to turn your employees into security experts by making them aware of what things are there to come, right? And then next is you have to make cybersecurity very personal rather than just keeping it to a corporate level. So we have to try to train them on personal scenarios. That is how to protect children who are going online today, how to secure your personal banking and UPI apps, how to avoid the WhatsApp scams which are happening, the privacy that is being attacked on social media, right? How to do an online shopping in a safe manner. So once people start applying cyber habits at home, they naturally bring those habits at work. So that is why I always say if you are cyber safe at home, you will be cyber safe at work. And whose responsibility it is to make cyber security personal and not corporate? It is you as cyber professionals, right? Next is the simplicity is the secret weapon that you have. So basically, what people do is no one will remember what all hundreds or thousands of things that you've told them. They will just remember simple rules. You should stop, you should look around, you should verify. If it is urgent and unexpected, then you should know that something suspicious is happening. So, correct, you design training like marketing campaigns. Security is basically a behavioral science plus communication. So, this is how you build those skill sets where people are cyber aware, right? So technology defends our system. Mindset defends the organization. So as cyber professionals, we'll have to create a cyber aware mindset. If we can help every employee build a cyber aware mindset, every click, every email, every decision becomes a security control. And that is how the organizations will stay resilient in an age where threats evolve daily. So thank you so much. I would like to open the session now for any questions.
Yes. So thank you so much, Mr. Sandesh, for that enlightening and insightful session. We've have received a couple of questions. So I think I'll start with the first question that we received. It's
Yeah.
from Mr. Amit Kumar. It says that what should be the approach to select the best tools like for application security or cloud security as per the environment?
Okay. So see, first of all, we need to first realize that what security we are trying to deploy. what is the approach of the security. So example, if we take of cloud security, right? So we'll have multiple resources which we are utilizing in our cloud environment. It could be PaaS, that is platform as a security, or it could be IaaS, which is infrastructure as a security resources. So looking at the resources, then we should start narrowing down what kind of defense we need to apply on those tools, on those resources, right? So what tools we can consider is, we can consider first a cloud security posture management tool. This will open the entire attack scenario which is happening in your environment. Any misconfigurations that you have, any vulnerabilities that you have on cloud, all of those would be detected and you'll start getting recommendations how you need to rectify them. Right? If you have tools which are having operating system as a part of those resources, then you need to have endpoint detection and response tools, which will start understanding the behavior of what all processes are running, what all actions are happening on your devices, correct? On the resources that you've built. Then, from a network perspective, from a perimeter perspective, obviously, you should start looking at firewalls. You should start looking at your web application firewall if it's a layer 7 traffic, correct? So, the approach is basically very simple. You look at the resources that you have in cloud and then you start selecting the tools. Now, still, how will you select one tool? Because there are so many OEMs in the market, right? Which are giving you multiple tools. So then you'll have to look at the different aspects of budgeting also. So there may be players which are at top three positions, right? And they may be very expensive, and your organization will not be in a position to actually go ahead and do the procurement of those very expensive tools. So you'll have to start looking at the features of those tools and start to look at byproducts which are a bit less expensive but which carry the same kind of tools, right? So I think that is how you can look at a cloud security environment. Now, if you look at application security, so I think penetration testing, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, that is absolutely something which we should look at. Either we can develop the skill set on our own and start doing a vulnerability assessment and penetration testing of the application manually, or as there are different tools also. There is static application security testing tools. There are software composition analysis tools. There are dynamic application security testing tools. So at every level, right, of application security, that is right from development to bringing it into production, right, to scan the code and then to see whether after integrating the application how the vulnerabilities are being addressed. So we can try to run a DevSecOps kind of an environment where at every point of your code being pushed, right from your development to the production environment, we can run an application security.
All right, sir. So I hope they've got their answer. We have a couple of more questions. Two of them are from anonymous attendees. So the first one is, will AI not reduce the number of jobs in cybersecurity since AI can handle basic entry-level jobs?
See, as I said, right, basic entry level jobs, as I said, if you look at a very entry level job like SOC analyst today, what does a SOC analyst do in a 24 by 7 operations environment? There are multiple events which are coming to you, which then converted into an incident. They try to analyze triage, they try to see what every incident is there happening in your environment. Now, when you look at multiple incidents coming, I will give you a very simple example. There are multiple attack scenarios where there are multiple IP addresses through which you are getting attacked to your environment. Example, right? And these are all blacklisted IPs which are coming from multiple geolocations. So if you are like a SOC analyst who are at an entry level job, right? And you keep on manually blocking each and every IP, then it will be a very big effort that you are putting to actually close those incidents. But where AI can help you, AI can help you detect these IPs at a faster rate, and then you can utilize automation to directly block them, right? But then you would say that, okay, now what happened is, since AI and automation are helping to block these IPs directly, then what will be the role of the SOC analyst then? Right? Then the SOC analyst can help you take much complex decisions which AI and automation are not helping you to do, right? So it is basically, as I said in my session, it is a superpower that you are getting. You are not being replaced. It is a superpower to you that you are having a helping and a supporting tool alongside where you can take faster decisions, where you can take accurate decisions. So I don't feel that at a niche level it will be a replacement of jobs, but it will be facilitation of jobs. Moreover.
All right, sir. So the next question is there any AI platforms that we can learn that are for cybersecurity?
So see, I think you cannot learn AI platforms directly. You can learn what are AI skill sets and how AI is being utilized for cybersecurity. There are many learning platforms today in the market, right? Which are paid learning courses like Coursera, Udemy. I am not trying to market any particular platform over here, but you can look at multiple platforms where there are cybersecurity courses which deal with AI requirements, how AI is being utilized for cybersecurity. So you can actually try to look at those courses. And as I said, once you join in as a entry level professional into the cyberspace, then there are multiple tools which today the organizations are actually utilizing to defend their environment. So you need to have a hands-on on these tools to realize how AI is being utilized as a part of these tools, right? Because AI is helping you to analyze. So, like if you say today, the simplest tool is endpoint detection and response. So this has been replaced by the good old antivirus which we were utilizing. So how AI is helping over there? So there are multiple kind of threats which are happening in your system, and then there are hundreds of lines of security incidents which you are seeing of the same pattern. What will AI do over here? AI will try to create a short version of that and try to only highlight the thing which is malicious, which is fishy, which looks fishy, right? So I think hands-on experience is a must to learn cybersecurity with AI. And then from a theoretical standpoint or from an understanding standpoint, there are multiple platforms where you can work on different courses and try to learn AI.
All right. I hope this answers your question. The next question that we have is from this an attendee, Sangvi. It says that as I'm studying masters in cybersecurity, I'm willing to move in cloud security. Give me the steps to start as a beginner.
Okay. So see, first of all, if you're moving your career towards the cloud security space, you'll have to first start understanding what is cloud computing. As I said, now people are not only looking at a single cloud in their environment, they're looking at multi-cloud environments. So some applications are sitting in one of the cloud platforms, the other applications are sitting in another cloud platforms, correct? So there is multi-cloud environment being utilized. So if you want to enhance or shape your career into cloud, first you will have to learn what is cloud computing, what are the different cloud platforms which are available now in the market, and then you should consider one of those major platforms. The three major cloud platforms today, if you look at the industry, are basically Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, and Amazon Web Services, AWS cloud, correct? So you can take help of one of the cloud platforms. There are if you take Microsoft, there are free learning skill sets online from Microsoft itself. It is not a paid thing. You can start utilizing that. You can start reading, understanding every bit and aspect of how security is being deployed at an IAS level, at a PAS level, at a SaaS based level, correct? And this is how you can shape your career into cloud security. And then if you get a hands-on experience over any organization where such kind of cloud environments are being utilized, I think it will be the right step to do. So I think you should start taking help of one of the platforms to realize how it is being deployed, what kind of resources are there in the cloud, and how I should secure or defend against attacks which are trying to attack such kind of resources.
All right, that's great. So the next question we have is from Mr. Krishna. It asks that how can someone choose red team or blue team? Which
Hmm.
one who have to go to build career in it?
Okay. So see, if you are someone who really likes to defend, who knows that I don't want to get into the attacker mindset. I have a mindset where I know that I can deploy controls, I can do installation of the security tools, I can operationalize the tools on a daily basis, I can run the configuration checks, I can do a troubleshooting if there is any flaw which is coming as a part of the security tool. I think the best place to be is the blue team. So you are sitting on the defending end where you are following some framework, you are following some control patterns, and then you're deploying the controls. If you are a person which has an attacker kind of a mindset where you feel that no, I actually like to hack things, right? I actually like to know how attackers are hacking us, are trying to attack us, right? Then there are scenarios where you sit at the other side of the table, which is the red team. That is where you can start building career as a red teamer. Over there, what you learn is you learn ethical skills of how the attackers are attacking, how hacks are happening, how AI is being used to create attacks in organizations at a national level as well. So if you have that kind of a mindset, then you can select a red team approach.
Wonderful. So we have another question, but we are running short of time. So
Okay.
since it's an anonymous question, I'm not able to check who it's from. So whoever has asked the next question, I encourage you to join our community and you can ask your question there. I would just like to say that thank you so much, sir, for your thoughtful responses, and a big thank you to everyone who participated and asked their questions. Um, I have run a poll that you might have been able to see, all of you. I'm going to end this poll now, since I'm going to run another poll for you all. And this poll is on cybersecurity, and you'll be able to see it on your screen. This poll is just to understand your perspectives and experiences better. So we'd love everyone to please participate. And this poll will be up in the next 30 seconds, for the next 30 seconds. You can see it on your screens now. Perfect. So it's been a fantastic discussion on next gen cyber leaders upskilling for growth in a rapidly evolving threat landscape. A heartfelt thank you to you, our speaker, Mr. Sandesh Raut, for sharing such valuable insights, and to all of our attendees for joining in and making this session truly engaging. Now, I would just like to say that this is Malikarya signing off on behalf of India IT 360 and Techie Connect. We hope to see you all again very soon in our upcoming webinars. Have a great day ahead.